I'm Joanna Lopez, the founder of Quantum Leap EFT Coaching. And today, we have here Imran, who is going to share with you guys some of the things that he has been able to experience. And he is a fantastic, phenomenal powerhouse. He has been able to transform a lot of things, but I think one of the things, besides obviously being in the program, is his ability to go that deep, his ability to be coachable, and his ability to actually wanting to heal and take responsibility for his mindset, for his mind and the things that has been holding him back. But that being said, so Imran went from feeling inadequate in business, like feeling anxious, feeling like desperate in business, to feeling completely confident, knowing his full worth in business, what he brings to the table. And he was actually going from constantly procrastination, and now he takes conscious actions. Like, he is going to be sharing with you guys all of this. And he is doing me the favor to be here because he knows that the same way that whoever is watching, he has been there, so he gets it. So he wants you guys to know what it's like, right? So anyhow, hi Imran, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, honey.
Hi, Joanna. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. I must say that I kind of like the words that you use. It kind of makes me feel good about myself.
Well, it's all true. It's all true. You are amazing. Like, it has been such an honor to work with you. You are incredible
as well.
Yeah. So anyhow, you wanna share a little bit about what you do, about who you are, and so people know, just a quick introduction about who you what you do, who you are, so people know.
Sure. So I'm Imran Zainal. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I run a program called Hike for Life KL, which is life coaching for children, and it's completely done in the forest. So I bring kids into the forest, and surrounded by trees and nature. And when we get to the top of a hill or a mountain, everybody sits down on the ground, and we all take out pens and notebooks, and I give them classes on life coaching. And I teach them things about how to be more confident, how to overcome your fears, how to become a leader, stuff like that.
Oh, and I love that.
It's been quite a journey.
I love that. I love that because you've been through that, right? Like, you have gone through that journey yourself, so you're able to teach a younger generation to be able to do the same, right?
Absolutely.
So would you tell our audience, Imran, like, I mean, I know that I already mentioned the procrastination and things like that, but can you share a little bit more of what was the problem you were dealing before joining the program? Like, I mean, just a little bit more about those things when it came to business.
Sure. So I was dealing with issues of being an imposter. You know, that while I was doing this amazing work with children about teaching them how to find themselves, inwardly, I kind of knew that there was some energy leaks that I was experiencing. Yeah. And in a way, I wasn't being true or authentic to myself. And I knew that this was going to impact my work because people do notice these energy leaks. Yeah. So I decided that, I needed to get some professional help to ensure that these energy leaks are then stopped, so that I can put a truer expression of myself to my students.
Yeah, and
that's when I got in touch with you.
Yeah, and would you share a little bit when you were feeling those things? Like, I mean, because I think most people that are watching this, like, they probably experience this. Like, it's something that it's in the back of your mind, but you keep brushing it off, and you don't think, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, right? Yeah. With that, like, I mean, the same happened with procrastination, right? Like, you were how were you feeling before we start working on that? How was the procrastination showing up in your life?
Okay, so because of these energy leaks, I didn't have that real sense of self-confidence. Yeah. So whenever I created a program, at the back of my head, at the back of my mind, I kind of didn't believe in it myself, right? Because I kind of felt that there was this imposter who was surfacing. So as a result of this feeling of, of this imposter coming out, I kind of procrastinated a lot on on creating the programs that I wanted to put out.
Yeah.
Because inwardly, I kind of didn't believe in myself. So because I didn't believe in myself, that led to procrastination.
Yeah.
You know, because so there was a lot of issues I was dealing with in terms of self-worthiness, in terms of in terms of self-love, right? In terms of, as Joanne just said now, procrastination, about feeling that you want to do something, but there's something holding you back, and that energy holding you back is yourself, because you are not being true to yourself.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. And I think it is, I think it's important to mention here for anyone who's listening, like sometimes those feelings, like, I mean, they are not so noticeable. They only show on the results, on the results that you are getting, but they are not so noticeable because, I mean, or actually maybe you share your own experience. Like, I mean, do you notice that was it obvious to you that you were, the imposter part, I know it was obvious to you, but the part of that you were not loving yourself, or that you were rejecting yourself in some level, was that noticeable, or was it noticeable until I brought it into the table, or we start working on that?
Yeah. Okay. So when I first came up with this program, I was all in. Okay. And the response is great. And for some reason, I kind of lost belief in myself part of the way through. And that was when the imposter stepped in. And that imposter, you know what the imposter said to me? That imposter said, "Hey, Imran, who are you kidding? You don't deserve the success, do you? You don't really deserve it, do you? Right? You're going to start, and then you're going to stop, and then your success is going to be very short-lived." So that's the imposter talking. So what I noticed with my second program, when there was this undercurrent of procrastination, there was this undercurrent of this imposter that was starting to surface. And when I came up with the second program, then I started to notice that the response from the public wasn't as overwhelming as it was the first time around. So in other words, I was sabotaging myself. And I was sabotaging myself by not taking steps to stop energy leak.
No,
So I noticed that. So I noticed that there was.
So it was obvious to you.
My work.
Got it. So it was obvious to you. So you were able to see, because a lot of people don't see it. A lot of people don't relate their lack of success because they are not they are rejecting themselves. They don't relate that. They don't think that that's the problem, or that is something sabotaging their performance, or basically their performance of how they are how they are performing in business, or how they are performing in the projects, in the programs, etc. Was that obvious to you, or was that obvious until we did some work? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Well, first of all, I just want to say that if you are in touch with your intuitive capacity, if you're in touch with your sixth sense, you kind of know when you are being authentic, when you're projecting yourself to the outer world. You kind of know, and you can't shortcut it. You can't kind of fake it. So I kind of knew that I was, trying to sort of, as they say in English, trying to sweep it under the carpet.
And do you relate that to your success? Do you relate that to your performance?
Yes, exactly, correct. So it all kind of reflected in the quality of clients I was getting.
Good.
So I knew that this was happening. I just didn't know how to go about it. So that was when I got in touch with you, and that's when we started to do the QEFT.
QEFTs, yeah. Well, I'm gonna say that is very powerful, because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, they do not relate their success or their performance based on something that they are doing internally.
Within them. Yep.
Within them, and I think that is, God, that is a little bit. that's a trap because you don't know what you don't know, right? So if you are not noticing that what's actually stopping you or holding you back is because there is something internal within you that needs to be tweaked, and that's what is actually affecting your performance and your ability to win clients and things like that. So that is really amazing. And I know that there are a lot of coaches that are in tune, especially because you are a coach. So I guess if you're a coach, you're right. Like you will probably know that there is something.
Well, you know, Joanna, I think that a lot of people, they kind of know something doesn't feel right, but either they don't know what to do with those feelings, or society has told them, you know, when you get these feelings, just shut it out. But that's not a healthy way to go about addressing the problem, is it?
Yeah, because then you're too busy, right? Because you're like, just shut it out, like just focus on taking A, B, C, D. But even if you take action, like if your mind is not on board, like you say earlier, you will find ways to sabotage yourself. You will find ways to procrastinate.
Yourself, correct. So that's when somebody like you comes into the picture with your QEFT sessions.
Yeah, no, for sure. And could you share with the audience here, like, I mean, how fast was for you, like shifting or transforming, like transforming some of the things that you were struggling with? Like, I mean, because I know that not everyone knows, but how fast was it? Like, I mean, coming from where you were feeling to transforming.
Okay, I would say that for me, the results came quite fast because you kind of got to take a step back from yourself. You have to be able to step outside of your shoes for a minute. And the reason why you want to do this is because you don't want to be the same you as before. Because if you're the same you as before, what's going to happen? You're just going to repeat the same results the following month or the following year. And you don't want that, do you? You want to completely transform your life. And to completely transform your life, you have to change the way you believe about yourself. Right. And you have to be willing. Okay, this is very important. You have to be willing to be wrong in the way you thought about yourself. So if you can stop the way that you've always thought about yourself and allow yourself to be corrected, then your mind becomes an empty vessel for new information, for new downloads to come in through QEFT. And you can do that if you can become an empty vessel. Just like, you know, Joanna can give you this huge download, and that can speed up and expedite your transformation. But you must be willing to understand that, okay, the way I've been doing things all this while has been wrong.
You have to be willing to go to that path. I agree with you. Because if you're not willing to go to that path, like, I mean, you're not willing, right? So you're not going to reach out.
And if you're not willing, what's going to happen? You're just going to repeat the same results the following year. And that's not what you want, is it?
I want you to share with people, because I know that I often say it's really fast. Like, it's really fast. Like, I mean, you go from feeling a certain way, and after, like, I don't know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes of rewiring, like, I mean, you come up and you feel different. But I know it's different than me saying it, that someone else going through that. Could you share with the audience, like, I mean, how was that for you experiencing, like, having the emotions, feeling the procrastination, and, like, I don't know, a few minutes later, like having, like, all of this rewiring? Like, I mean, how was that for you? Like, what was your experience as a client, like, as being on the other side?
So when we did our QEFT, at first, it was a new experience for me. I've never done QEFT before, but I was, an open book. I was willing to have my book rewritten, and what I observed was that you helped me rewrite my self-thoughts. And when you started doing the QEFT on me, there were certain keywords that you used. I mean, of course, now it escapes me, right? But I mean, you know what you did during the QEFT. But there were certain keywords that you used that really penetrated deep inside my subconscious, inside my intuition. And when you use those words, I remember many times I found myself nodding. I found myself just telling myself, yeah, like certain words just click with your soul.
Yeah.
And when they click with your soul, what I did after the QFT was I always had a pen and paper beside me, and I would just write down what were the keywords that Joanna used that caused that shift to happen inside me.
Because it's an
So-
internal shift, right? Like it's something
Internal shift,
visceral.
exactly.
You feel it. Like it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So and because I didn't want to forget those words, those magic words, so I would always make it a point to write those words that Joanna said, on a piece of paper, so that when our session finished, I could look back at the piece of paper and then remember those words were written at the time when Joanna was giving me the download. So even after our QFT, when I would look back on the piece of paper and read what I wrote, the energy from those words sort of captured the essence of what happened during the QFT.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense, but that
It won't make sense until you experience it. It won't make sense, even though when we do it, the terminology for that is like we are doing neuroconditioning, like we are neuroconditioning your brain, right? Even though it seems like you and I are just chatting or having a conversation, what we're doing is we are rewiring the brain, creating new paths, and that's why certain things like they just like sink in your mind in a different way. And a lot of people feel like buzzing or like tingling, like we just see.
And I just want to say something, that whatever I wrote down on the piece of paper, those are, in truth, it's nothing groundbreaking in the sense that I've read about it before, but reading about it from different gurus and motivational speakers, reading about it, and then actually going through QFT and having those words sit to you, it strikes you so differently.
Because it is at the unconscious level, right? Because
Exactly.
And if I had say those words without doing neuroconditioning, without doing the QFTs, it wouldn't have synced that same way. Because even though the reason why I felt like, oh, what the heck, I have heard this.
Like what you said, Joanna, like what you said before, Joanna, about the one that really hit me a lot was to love and accept myself. Now, those words, you can pick up any self-help book, they'll tell you the same thing, right? But it doesn't hit you that way. But it's only when we were doing the QFT
that it just sank, right?
And of course you were able to synthesize my past experiences, my traumas, and then you hit me with the right words. Then that phrase, Imran, you need to love and accept yourself, really hit me hard in ways that I could not have gotten just by reading a self-help book before. The impact was so different.
Thank you so much for saying that, Imran, because I think that helps everyone to understand that it's not mindset. It's not that I'm going to be telling you like, oh, you're amazing. I mean, I will tell you you're amazing, you're incredible, but we're actually rewiring your brain. We're really rewiring your brain. We are actually going to your unconscious brain and creating those neural paths. So like Imran said, like, I mean, we say things that he has already heard, but when it happens at the unconscious level, like your brain just like clicks with that in a different way. And were you able to feel any visceral feelings on your body? Like I know a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few epiphanies with you. Quite a few watershed moments which lasted with me, for not just days but weeks. And even now as we speak, when I find myself in a quiet moment, or when I find myself in a moment of self-doubt, the lessons that you taught me, or the lessons that the shift that you created in me, are able to come up to the surface to remind myself, actually, Imran, this is who you are. So I'm able
your brain has been rewired, right? Sorry,
yes, exactly, correct. So I find that so helpful, incredibly useful, and so powerful.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, I think people will appreciate it, whoever is watching here is in who actually want to understand how does this work. And how has that impact your business? Like, I mean, how has that impact your performance? What do you notice like now? I mean, because you came from feeling constantly procrastinating and feeling like inadequate and even desperate. And I know we all have felt like that in business because you want an answer, you want to know, but how do you feel like doing the work or joining the program like had helped you in your business, in your performance? Like, do you mind sharing a little bit with everyone?
Absolutely. So basically, the results that you get is a reflection of your self-worth, of what you truly believe about yourself.
Yeah.
Now, in the past, I could try to portray somebody who's confident, somebody who's on the ball, somebody who knows his stuff together, right? Okay, but because secretly, innately, there were certain energy leaks, the universe did not respond with tangible results.
And
Now,
people can feel it, right? You were mentioning.
people can feel it, exactly. People can feel it. Now, after we had sealed that gap, after we sealed that wound, on traumas, on self-belief, on the procrastination, on the self-love and self-acceptance. Once I mastered that with you, I saw people responding to me in ways that I'd never seen them done before. So I'm currently in discussions with a major company who are on the cusp of engaging me. Now, this was something I could not have imagined before.
Wow.
And I think they kind of know that maybe this person not ready. But now that I believe in myself, now that I love and accept myself, now that I have stopped comparing my success to other people, and you feel enough onto yourself, somehow the universe understands this. And then these companies are now approaching me for collaboration. So there was a huge shift in the results that I've seen in my professional life now compared to before.
Oh man, I got chills. I got chills because it's so true. It's like
I know I've got hair on my cheeks that's raising. It was rising, but you can't see it. But it is. It's like a field of energy right here.
I love it. No, I feel it too, Imran. I think you have done a fantastic job, like showing up, because I think that's what it takes. That's what it takes the most courage, right? Like actually doing something that's completely different. Because if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna keep having the same results. So sometimes we don't take ourselves or what we're feeling as important. We don't think it's as important as it is, but it can impact our business like big time. And I love how much like that has actually contributed. And I remember when I started hearing about those stories, it's like, man, it's because energetically you have shifted. Like people can feel you, like, because when you feel when you feel awkward, people can feel that, right? Like we are that connected. And you mentioned that it's even impacting your programs, right? The creation of your programs.
Yeah. So ultimately, this is about reclaiming your connection with the universe. This is about reclaiming your inner power. This is about reclaiming the person that you've always been destined to be. And if you've been masquerading as an imposter, if you've been projecting a false identity to the outside world, do this QFT, because you're going to uncover certain truths about yourself, and these will help you to project a more authentic version of yourself into the world outside, and then you will see the results come in tangible form.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you. Very well said. And that's why it's like tapping into power, right? That's why I created that program, because once you are able, once your brain is empty, once your brain is once your brain has been rewired, like your brain is ready for massive action. It's not just that you're gonna rewire your mind and sit down and wait for things to happen. Like you took action, right? But you were able to take it because your mind was on board. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, my mind was on board, and of course the accompanying feeling of self-worthiness, because and you kind of understand that And one of the things that I think you helped me understand was that through self-worthiness, through the feeling that you need to get your message out there, you kind of understand that it'll be criminal to not do what you're supposed to do. It'll be criminal to not do what the universe put you into this world to do, because every one of you has a unique voice. Your appearance in this world is not a coincidence. I believe that everybody who comes called. That's what Oprah Winfrey says. And everyone who appears in this world has a reason for their being, for a purpose for their life. And it's incumbent on you to discover what that is, and then to show the world this is who you are and this is what you have to offer.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to lead a fulfilling life.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And thanks for saying that, Imran. I'm sure people that are listening to you, like listening to us, like they will truly appreciate it. Because and I feel like sometimes you can tell yourself that, like, I mean, you can give yourself a pep talk, and if the pep talk is no longer working, it's because it's no longer a conscious problem. When you're telling yourself like all of those things, beautiful things that, for example, Imran is capable to say, and his mind syncs with it. If you telling these things only makes you feel good, but you still have the same results, it's because it's no longer a conscious problem. It's because there is an unconscious block that is disrupting the energy. Then unless you remove the unconscious block, your thoughts, your mindset, what you believe, and because you're intelligent, you're smart, won't sync, won't click until that unconscious block is removed and the energy disruption is gone, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. Well, thank you so much. So I want to ask just one more thing.
Sure.
Before we wrap things out, imagine there was someone watching this right now, and they were on the fence about booking a call to speak with me about the program. Like, I mean, what would you say to them? Like, because I know you've been there before. What would you say to them?
I would say it's an investment into your future. I would say it's an investment into your connection with the universe, because there's nothing more important than finding your purpose in this world. And you can only do that if you know your true self. And if you've never known your true self before, this is something I would highly recommend. Of course, there is an initial doubt. Can Joanna create that transition that I need? Can Joanna effect that shift that I've been wanting all my life, that I've been desperately seeking for? I know there's that hesitation at first. I've been there before, but I kind of trusted that, that this is going to work out. And thankfully for me, it did. So I would say, yes, you have that initial reservation, but go for it. You will not regret it. I mean, I found huge shifts in myself. I mean, if I compare myself to the Imran before I started with Joanna and the Imran now, my God, it's like two completely different people from the sense of self-confidence, from the sense of knowing my connection with the universe, from the sense of self-worth. And okay, this is something that Joanna taught me, kid, and I'll share this with you because I love this bit, right? So during one of the QFTs, I think Joanna taught me, Imran, you must deeply believe that you are really handsome, that you're really good looking, and you must know that you're attractive. And the more she told me this, the more I started believing this, the more confident I felt, because we all struggle with our public persona, how we appear. Sometimes we feel, my God, maybe I'm too short, maybe I'm too skinny, maybe I'm this or that, my eyes are not too big, and we're not happy with the way we appear. But when you understand that actually you're the most attractive person out there, your entire being changes and your sense of confidence changes. And then when you approach people, when you approach companies, say, hey, look, I need this deal from you. And you come with this, you come as if there's 10,000 people behind you, because you have this confidence, like, okay, I think
people feel it. Like, no, man, like people feel it. Like, yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was Maya Angelou who had this very famous quote that says, I come I come as one, but I represent 10,000 behind me. Some of that. Yeah, it was a beautiful quote. I may have screwed up that phrase, but it was just,
people got the essence.
that was the general meaning. Yeah. So I would say, anyone who has doubts out there, go for it. I've seen huge changes in me, and if I have seen the shifts in myself, I believe that Joanna can make the same transition in yourself and see another side of you that's more powerful, that's more connected, not just to yourself, but to the universe. And I think that's probably the biggest gift anyone could give you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. And I appreciate you saying that. That's really kind. And and I'm so proud of you for all the changes that you are making, and because it's reflecting on the companies that are coming to you. Like, I mean, all of this, even though it seems like it's personal, like, I mean, all of this is impacting your trajectory, right? And your goals and your vision, how you're creating your program, how you are attracting these companies, because the energy of how you feel about yourself, everyone feels it wherever you go, right?
Yeah. And you're reclaiming your power.
Okay.
I mean, there's
tapping
nothing
into
greater than
power,
that, right?
Yes, tapping. That's why I call this program like that, tapping into power, because that's what it is. It's like remembering, reclaiming the power that's already within you. But anyhow, Imran, thank you so much. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here, and I really, really appreciate you, everyone. If you have any questions, or if you are curious to know if this might be the missing piece that you've been waiting for, just book an assessment. The assessments are complimentary, money and business assessment. You have nothing to lose and so much to win. Okay, big hugs, everyone. Well, talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.